Hi, I'm Lita Liepin.
And I'm Jim Gordon.
And welcome to a new edition of Our City Tonight.
Well, here we are, Lita, actually in the wine bar, street level here at Hydra, a floor below where we usually shoot in the Cabana Lounge.
Apparently bohemians gathered here.
I don't know what I'm doing here then. Oh my goodness. Anyway, lots coming up in this edition of Our City Tonight. We'll get to that right after you watch this. What you're looking at is the first TV version episode of Our City Tonight. Way back in the summer of 2016, we had been online from 15 to 16, but in that first episode, our guest with us now was there. Oh my God, 10 years.
I can't believe
Crystal
it.
Lee McWaters is with us. That is, where does time go?
I would never guess it was 10 years ago.
No.
That was the very first episode of TV, a version of Our City Tonight.
Yeah, we're so grateful, actually.
Yes.
You were one of our very first sponsors. We had so much fun. We still have so much fun with you whenever
a lot of
we're-
laughs for sure.
It has been. A lot of
laughs.
nicknames, a lot of laughs. Yes.
Hey.
But now you do have a new nickname, the VP of Vines and Vibes.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, tell us who you're with now and what you're doing. What's the vibe?
Absolutely, yeah. So lots of changes in our world as well. I'm now running the team at Gate 22 Winery in Surrey, as well as at Dega on 45th. We just purchased that winery in Osoyoos last March, so a year ago already, and just having so much fun. So much fun.
Well, you always have fun. You're that kind of person. But how has the wine business been for you over the last couple of years? We had you on the show a couple of years ago, and I don't think you'd made the move yet.
Yes.
Talk about how it's been the last couple of years.
Well, it's definitely been a challenging one.
Yeah.
You know, we had the frost in 24 or 23 and 24. So in British Columbia, we've had some challenges for sure. Us personally, we were very lucky in that our vineyard wasn't actually affected
Nice.
in 24. So we were able to make wines off of our estate and not have to bring in fruit from other regions. But, you know, it is challenging out there. We're seeing people drinking less, you know, trying to get that slightly younger demographic consuming wine, which, you know, is not something they have just been used to. But you know what? British Columbia is just making some fantastic wines, and the industry continues to flourish and grow, and the support has been phenomenal from the consumers.
great.
Speaking of fantastic wines you've poured us to today, can you tell us a little bit briefly about what these are?
Absolutely. So very excited. These are two new releases for us from Dega on 45th. So this is our brand new rosé. It's actually not even released yet. We just bottled it, but it is primarily Pinot Noir with just a little bit of Malbec. And I just love it. Karen Young is our winemaker, and Karen is just phenomenal. She's been in the industry for almost 30 years, just a treat to work with. Our assistant winemaker, Coral, she's been in the industry 30 years as well. And our whole mantra right now is we're just gonna have fun doing it too. So I work with an amazing team. Our team is 85% female, and we let a couple of guys in the vineyard, but other than that, we're
Like me on this show, actually. Yes.
Exactly. And it's, you know, we're having fun.
Wonderful.
Where can people find this great wine?
Yes, this will be available on the Save On Foods and private retailers.
Oh.
And of course, always online or through our wine club as well.
Okay, and tell us a little bit about the
And
red.
this is a brand new one we've just released for the Wine Festival this week. This is our Malbec Merlot. So this is all estate grown fruit. So 100% from our own vineyard. On site, we grow 18 and a half acres and primarily big, bold reds. So we're in Osoyoos. It's hot. We're the only official desert in Canada, so we get that intense ripeness, which is it's pretty exciting.
That's really good.
Thank
Wow.
you.
I mean, sometimes
Thank
you
you.
just think, is that a BC wine? Really?
That's delicious. Yeah.
I was going to say, you sound surprised.
No, I've had your wine for so long.
I know.
I shouldn't be any, but I still am sometimes because you think.
No, I get it.
You think France, you think Italy for reds.
Absolutely.
BC's just kicking it. They really are.
And what's really exciting about this is there's not a lot of Malbec grown in British Columbia. And if it is, it's generally used for blending. So we do a single varietal as well. And that's one of the varietals I'm really excited about because you just don't find it very often. So
Well,
Wow.
I'll tell you what, I may not know a lot, but when you have a nickname like Vine and Vibes, you're not lying about your wine. I just, it's impossible to do so. Hey, Crystal Lee McWaters, as we said, she was, I think, our very first sponsor on this show way back in 2016. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show.
We
So nice
love
to
you.
see you. We love you too. I love you guys
so much.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Well, here at the Vancouver International Wine Festival, although the theme is France, we love talking to locals. And what I mean by locals is our BC wineries. And I have Chris Turek here of Unsworth Wines. You're getting a lot of attention in the Cowichan Valley for making some brilliant wines. Tell us a little bit about Unsworth.
Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for the recognition. I'm biased, but I feel that, we are getting more and more recognition, as you said, and going in the right direction. And it's on the back of quality and hard work.
It is, and now you're a part of the family wines. Your dad started this. Tell our viewers a little bit of the history of Unsworth.
Yeah, so my dad and I purchased the property in the Cowichan Valley, right in Mill Bay, in 2009. And we've been kind of fumbling our way through ever since. And we didn't come from a wine background, but we did see that there was a burgeoning food and wine culture happening in the Cowichan Valley. You know, lots of farmers and other wineries that were already established, restaurants, breweries, distilleries, and we just kind of wanted to be part of that little growing trend and growing industry, and here we are.
Here you are, not only just a part of it, you guys are winning awards. One of your wines was at the Bacchanalia Gala, featured the Pinot Gris, and we have in front of us the Pinot Noir that we are going to try together. Tell us a little bit what makes this one special.
Yeah, absolutely. So Pinot Noir is definitely the signature red grape of the Cowichan Valley. It is the most planted red grape, and it is a workhorse for us. We put some Pinot Noir into sparkling wine, into rosé wine, and of course the red Pinot, which is kind of our signature. But what makes it special in Cowichan is the fact that it's naturally low in alcohol, so we have a long, cool growing season, so the flavors can get nice and ripe in concert with nice, slow ripening of sugar. So this wine is, I think, 12.7 ABV. So, it's not a big bruiser. It's light, it's fresh. You can see in the glass, it's nice and light in color, but it's not wanting for density. It's not wanting for expression, because when you stick your nose in it, it's quite perfumed. It's quite red fruited. And quite vibrant, and that's what the Cowichan Valley can do. Be it sparkling or our Chardonnay or Pinot Gris or this Pinot, it's light and bright, but complex as well. So it kind of is fun for the whole family.
That's a delicious wine. I'm encouraging everybody to. And this is available. Where can you find this?
Well, of course, you can find it in our tasting room and online and through our wine club.
Okay.
But it is available also through the BCL.
Wonderful.
Private retailers in throughout BC, mostly in the Lower Mainland. We're not the biggest winery in the world, so our distribution is focused on the island and the Lower Mainland, and also at a great deal of restaurants around Vancouver and Lower Mainland.
Perfect. And brand new tasting room at Unsworth, so definitely check it out. That is now a wine. It's a wine destination, the Cowichan Valley now, I've been told by all my wine friends. So thank you, Chris, and thanks
Pleasure.
for being here on Our City Tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, just a reminder to check out the print digital version of Our City Tonight in the latest edition of Iconic Concierge magazine.
Yeah, we love partnering with this great luxury magazine. You can find it pretty much where?
Oh, everywhere. Luxury hotels, great bars. It's everywhere. It's a good-looking magazine. We're proud to be a part of it.
Yeah, and the actual column in Iconic Concierge magazine is a little taste of what Our City Tonight is doing out and about in our city.
That's right. Check out the latest edition. It's available now.
Hi, I hope you're enjoying the show. We just wanted to take a little break here and remind you to check out our website at ourcitytonighttv.com. That's where you can check out extended versions of these segments in podcasts, as well as check out our YouTube channels. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Now back to the show.
All right, places, everyone. Let's get this shot before the rain picks up. Quiet on the set. Roll camera.
Well, movies in front of us. It's movie time. Lydia, you're kicking it off.
Okay, I'm going to kick it off with Hamnet, which is interchangeable with Hamlet, just so you know, in Elizabethan England. This is a film about the early life of William Shakespeare. It focuses on his family and how a tragedy shapes his and his wife's life in the aftermath. It stars Paul Mescal as the bard himself, and starring Jessie Buckley as Agnes, his wife. You might remember Jessie from the film The Lost Daughter in 2021, which she was nominated for an Academy Award. She is great. I found that this movie, it does really capture what you would imagine to be the essence of William Shakespeare and his family as they go through this tragedy. One really interesting point, I love the fact that they cast Paul Mescal, who's 30, to play William Shakespeare, and they cast Jessie Buckley as Agnes, and she's 36. That doesn't happen a lot.
Not in Hollywood.
In Hollywood. It really is a great film. It goes a little slowly, but I say hang on because it just becomes so amazing, like heart-opening and tearjerker at the end.
Well, going for someone really well known to somebody ordinary, my first pick is a movie that is on Netflix, came out just before Christmas, called Train Dreams. This is the story of an ordinary man and the extraordinary times in which he lived. In this case, he is living in the Pacific Northwest. He's part of the building of the railroad. And again, so much was happening. Things are moving at a great pace. He's trying to keep up. But it's a really fascinating study. It's not for everybody. I think if you put 10 people in a room, 4 to 5 might go, nah, I can't keep up. It's just not working for me. But if you love old school cinematography, Joel is great, as is Felicity Jones, Carrie Condon, and of course William Macy, who's great in everything. This is just a beautiful, beautiful film about one man's life over an 80-year period. I really enjoyed this. Train Dreams, big thumbs up.
Oh, good, good. Okay, well, my next one is a family movie, Legend of Ochi. Really quite an incredible fantasy adventure show. More suitable for the whole family, but I would say tweens and above, because there is some violence and adult themes. Quick synopsis, it was set in a fictional island in the Black Sea, and it follows this young girl, Yuri. She's a young girl from the village that has been terrorized for generations by these primate-like creatures called Ochi. She finds a wounded little baby Ochi. She looks kind of like a furry baby Yoda, to be honest. And she is determined to return it to her family despite all the perilous danger to do this. She has an eccentric father, Maxime, who is played masterfully by Willem Dafoe. I love him. He's so great. And the mother is played by Emily Watson, another great, great actor. Yuri is played by Helena Zengel, and Petro is her brother is Finn Wolfhard, who, if you might remember, was in Stranger Things. He is actually born in Vancouver.
Okay,
very, very good cast. Again, great story, keeps you on the edge of the seat. Great fantasy adventure.
Okay. Hey, one movie that came out just before Christmas that you and I both liked. It's George Clooney as Jay Kelly, but a lot of people saying it's George Clooney is kind of a version of George Clooney. He plays a movie star, a big actor, a well-loved figure, which is Clooney. And it's basically an actor who's reflecting on his life and the mistakes he made and the people he maybe felt he disappointed, and trying to reconnect with his children.
Yeah, I like that movie too.
Yeah, no, you and I both were amazed that the real star of this film is Adam Sandler.
Yes.
Which, I mean, I think he's great in a lot of stuff. I didn't go for all his man boy characters, but
No.
but he's a serious actor.
Yeah.
He shows it here.
He does. He does. Like in the Gems movie that he did.
Yeah, no,
Uncut
he's
Gems.
fantastic. Laura Dern also in this, and Emily Mortimer, so great cast. Jay Kelly. Okay, last movie I'm going to do, I used to love doing this when I was a full-time film critic, is finding old movies and going, this needs to be seen. In this case, a criminally underappreciated film from 2002. It was in my top 10 movies of the first decade of the century. It's called Road to Perdition, directed by Sam Mendes, who gave us American Beauty, 1917, and the best Bond movie in modern history, Skyfall. This is a story of a Depression-era enforcer, played by Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks like you've never seen him before. Paul Newman is the mobster he works for. The mobster's son is Daniel Craig, pre-Bond. I love this film. This is about redemption. It's about fathers and sons. It's about self-discovery. Jude Law is great in this film. But I'll tell you what really is haunting is the music by Oscar winner Thomas Newman. See this movie. I don't know why people didn't see this in the movie theater. I was raving about this 24 years ago, but no one saw it. So look for this. It is a great film, and it was Paul Newman's last live action. Big thumbs up, Road to Perdition from 2002.
And I'm going to end us on a rom-com called Materialists. It has some incredible people. Dakota Johnson, who is in a big campaign right now, as you know. And she plays a New York matchmaker, and it goes through what she has to deal with in her own romantic love life. Great stars in this, aside her Pedro Pascal, who's
he's in everything.
He's a perfect bachelor for her, and you know, he plays this really wealthy, perfect guy, and she's comparing her imperfect boyfriend, who's played by Chris Evans, who's certainly not imperfect as Captain America, as we all know. She discovers what love is really all about. It is a great rom-com, I gotta say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Hey, those are the movie reviews for this edition. Well, taking a little break from the show, just a reminder to check out all the great stuff online and in the magazines with our partners, Richmond Sentinel.
Yes, we do all kinds of interviews, and we also do a little kind of hot sheet
We do.
in the Sentinel. So it's a lot of fun, some of the things that we've discovered over the last month.
It's a great publication, and you can also find some of the segments that we do, longer versions. They're on the Sentinel website. It's richmondsentinel.ca. Now, back to the show.
Some promotional considerations provided by Star Wild Domes. Luxury in nature, transforming outdoor spaces into extraordinary destinations. For more information, go to starwilddomes.com.
Lock the door, light the candles, turn the music on. Let the world spin round without us so we can be alone.
What you're looking at is the newest single from Canadian singer-songwriter Peter George Hansen, and he has an incredibly unique story. He's an accomplished doctor specializing in treating pain without prescription drugs, and he also wrote a best-selling book on the topic of stress. We want to welcome Peter George Hansen to our city tonight.
Thank you for having me. Nice to see you.
We are thrilled. Well, you've helped treat a lot of my pain, but we're not going to talk about that. You're wearing a different hat today, being the entertainer at heart. You've performed comedy. You had your own radio show and syndicated.
Short attention span, I think, helps a lot.
No, we want to jump right into, because your newest song, Maybe Baby, it's hitting up high there.
It's been a real surprise hit. It's on YouTube now. We've had 43,000 hits in just the first 3 weeks, and it just come out of nowhere. So it's been really very gratifying.
Wow.
We recorded it here in Vancouver at Bryan Adams' warehouse studio, and that's where I did the vocals. The rest of it, the musicians were picked from the best musicians in Nashville, Los Angeles, and Toronto. We've got all kinds of top players, and it's been a real experience overall.
No kidding. Well, you are a prolific songwriter. I've listened to quite a few of your songs, but I love how you say that you have a completely different view in how you can write your songs, because you've been around so many people. Can you share that, why you are able to write so many songs?
A lot of people think it's a different thing when you are in medicine and then meeting people all at that level, and then also writing songs. It's actually very much interconnected. Billy Joel, for example, was a lounge piano player when he was just getting started, and most of his hit songs came from the stories of the people that would frequent his piano, and he got to know them, like Cheers, and you get to know all the characters. Well, the same thing applies in medicine. It's not a divulging of any patient's personal information, but piecing together stories. This one had been ghosted when they were trying to date. This one had the one love slip away. This one had something else happen, and the stories build, and you get to know them, and then that gives great material for writing music. And so each song has its own story. It's not about one person, and it's certainly not about me. It's just the song just arrives, but it's all pieced together from this way. And it's a real, it's like a gold mine to have all these nuggets of information come from patients and different twists on things, but it keeps it real. So the audience then says, yeah, I've had that feeling, or I know somebody who's done that, rather than just wallpaper music or elevator music.
Yeah.
There's no point.
Well, I've listened to your songs. In fact, you have a very different musical style, because you cross all of the genres: country, blues, rock, even pop and reggae.
Yeah.
So
Tell us your early inspirations.
The early inspirations, I guess, when I was first having guitar lessons here in Vancouver as a 7-year-old, when my grandmother gave me my first guitar, I was listening to Hank Snow, one of Canada's great original country singers, and that was a big influence. Patsy Cline and Willie Nelson, and of course Gordon Lightfoot and Ronnie Hawkins were two of my very close influences. I got to know Gordon Lightfoot quite well, and his two guitar players were my instructors when I was living in Toronto. So I was backstage a lot with him and with Ronnie Hawkins, and met all of the big stars up here in Canada. Then also down in the States, when I lived down there for a time, I got to know the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band guys, and they were very influential as well in my background music. But every time I would go to bed at night, it would be like I was hearing a noise coming through the window. A neighbor's radio might be playing one song, and I would start to write it down, thinking that's a good song, and then I'd realize it's my song. It was just that it all arrives at once. Sometimes it's a bit like delivering babies, which I've also done hundreds of times. But in delivering babies, some of them just pop right out, and some of them are a bit of a struggle, and some of them require a cesarean section, whatever. It's like that with music. Sometimes the whole song just pops right out at you before you know, top to bottom, not a word needs to be changed. And other times it requires thought and editing, and let's put it in the bottom drawer. My wife Lisa has been very helpful in editing a lot of the songs as well, just to sort of give me some feedback as we go. So it's very much the same idea. And like giving birth to something that has meaning, you want the songs to be intelligible with the storyline, that people can understand the lyrics and all of that, rather than just yeah sort of stuff in the background. So, but each one has its own style. Some blues, some country, some reggae, some whatever it might be. And it's been a real journey. And we've assembled an amazing cast of artists. We've got several different artists. We have over half a dozen different singers other than me singing some of my songs, because some are just perfect for a torchy blues barroom singer, female vocalist. We've got that. We've got some of the most amazing pop singers. We've got one of the backup singers for Joe Walsh from the Eagles, and Lois Mahedi is just an amazing stellar soloist. We filmed every one of them as a video on YouTube now, so that you can see the scenery of Vancouver, for example, for several of the songs, and it's been a real journey. It's been a lot of fun.
I bet. And you mentioned your wife, Lisa. She's an accomplished orchestral musician already. So you've got.
She's a real musician. Yeah, yes. Yeah. So she really knows what she's doing. I actually don't read music at all. I barely read cartoons, but the real musicians are the ones who do the arrangements. Like Lisa does the editing. She knows how to play professionally, and has been a huge inspiration to try and keep it as high quality as we can. Wonderful. But when we go into the studio with the musicians, they write their own parts. Like I don't know how to write music for a different mandolin, for example, or for banjo, or for whatever. That's a different person that does that. And in this case, these musicians come with that already wired in. So you just play it once and like, you mean like this? And then, boy, is it ever great. So it's been really fun to do that. Great to work live with them.
So if you were to give some advice to a young singer-songwriter starting out, and you saying you don't read music and that, what would you say catapulted you into the great success you were having already?
I think it's just having the ear and the eye for it, basically sort of knowing what sounds or seems right, and then if it's presented properly and it tells a story. But in the end, like my wife Lisa always says, she wants music to mean something and make people feel something, rather than just be background and you chat right over top of it. So we want it to touch people. And if you have a message that does that, rather than just trying to think of a rhyme, it has to also have a resonance as well.
Wonderful. Well, that sounds great, so people can just feel with their heart and write with their heart makes the most sense. Well, your latest dozen releases, they're getting some great attention, and currently you've got lots of viewers from YouTube, Spotify, and
it's
you're
on all the platforms now. And it's all available out there. So it's being launched right here. The first video that's been seen by anybody is here on your show. Thank you very much.
That's great. So so they can find you at Peter George Hansen?
Yeah, you have to use the George. There's a Swedish golfer named Peter Hansen, so if you use that, you'll just get a golf lesson in Swedish.
Okay.
And so I use my middle name, George. So if you go to Peter George Hansen, you'll find it. It's Hanson, of course, and you'll find it on all the platforms.
That's fantastic.
Hope you enjoy.
Well, not only is he an amazing singer-songwriter, he is also an amazing doctor. And so thanks for being on the show. And we've got Lisa in the background there. giving some support.
Thanks for having me. Indeed, it's been just great. Great to work with you as
Thanks,
always.
Peter.
Yeah.
You're
This segment was sponsored by the Richmond Sentinel, providing news, entertainment, and human interest stories in print and online. Coming up on the next new episode of Our City Tonight, airing April 26th and May 3rd, we'll welcome singer-songwriter and musical producer extraordinaire, Sean Thomas. We'll sample more great cocktails from Japan's Choya brand.
Digital stained glass.
We'll chat with artist Laura Harper.
Certain person. So there's we.
Mr. Burton.
Yes, thank you, Ma.
And we'll introduce you to a new movie for home viewing called Mr. Burton.
Henry V, prologue by heart.
All for the news of fire, they were saying.
All that and a lot more on the next new episode of Our City Tonight, coming your way April 26th and May 3rd. Closed captioning and other promotional considerations provided by Hamilton High Street Senior Residence, Richmond's newest senior living community.
Well, we're back here in Hydra's Wine Bar that is at the street level, apparently where bohemians gather. I had to say that again.
Well, I'm not a bohemian, but I have acted bohemian-like in this place many times over the years.
Yes, I hear.
Oh, you've been here most of the time when that happens, acting like a bohemian yourself. But anyway, I digress. Before we leave, a reminder, as we always do, if you want to contact us, it's info@ourcitytonighttv.com.
Yes, and we look forward to hearing any comments, ideas. Just say hello.
Yeah, we always like people saying hello, and thanks for all the comments from our viewers that take the time to say hello and other comments they have. I'm Jim Gordon.
And I'm Lita Leapins.
We'll see you on the next edition of Our City Tonight.
Visit ourcitytonighttv.com for all the latest episodes, segments, and our new podcast. And please be sure to like and subscribe.
The Richmond Sentinel, providing news, entertainment, and human interest stories in print and online.